Looking back at the SoundCloud era, I know our boys at Potty Mouth made this video, but you said that this was a suggested, Jesus, suggested by Dom, right?
Yeah, on Twitter, he was like, he want to know what we think about it. About like, just looking back at the SoundCloud era and like what it meant, or like, did it age properly, or like, even with the Mount Rushmore, like, who was those guys that's, you know,
Hmm.
the blog era goats? Just the whole aspect of how the
SoundCloud
blog
era.
era affected hip hop.
Wait, blog era or SoundCloud
I
era?
mean, SoundCloud era, my bad.
Oh,
The
okay.
SoundCloud era, my bad.
So yeah, so for the people who have not seen the picture, there is a Mount Rushmore, a SoundCloud artist, and in there is Lil Uzi Vert, XXXTentacion, Juice World, and Playboy Cardi. I have a gripe with this Mount Rushmore. I don't think Playboy Cardi should be on there.
Hmm. Why not?
Uh,
Because he was a we.
I just don't feel like he had the impact compared to the other two slash three that's on there. Juice World, I really don't want to put him on there either. To me, he kind of broke out more during while it was the SoundCloud era. To me, he didn't really break out on SoundCloud compared to he was like, the SoundCloud and streaming era are so synonymous with each other to me, to where it's like I feel like he was more beneficial because of I mean not Land Cube, Lyrical Lemonade, and then the streaming on Spotify and things like that. To me, SoundCloud wise, Uzi should be on there. We gotta think about the Lucy's and stuff that he was dropping. XXX Tentacion should be on there. We gotta think about the way that his fan base and all that was curated. I seen a lot of people say Trippy Red. I'm not too mad at that, but I just something don't sit right with me in Trippy Red. And I know Diamond Four made a video about this on their Potty Mouth channel. Even though I know they shouldn't be on there, I'm like, dang, no talks of like Nav or Pierre Bourne. Like, we gotta like, come on, man, what are we talking about right here? But I had to actually look up a list. I had the list, but I accidentally exited out of it earlier. But you could go ahead and start with your spiel, B.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think Playboy Cart. Well, I don't think Juice World should be on here because I
That's
agree
what I
with you on
said.
that. I think he should be on like the tail end, like you said, he benefited a lot from Lyrical Lemonade with the Cal Bennett stuff. Even though I seen him on SoundCloud before the Lyrical Lemonade stuff, but it wasn't nobody was listening to it, B.
Hmm.
It was like it wasn't even many listens. The Lyrical Lemonade video blew him, took him off. X Lil Uzi, it's
I
like
think
with
Uchi should be
Uzi.
on there for the Lucy's.
But I feel like Uzi had he had the Young Thug cosign before like his SoundCloud era really emerged. Because he was making music like in 2014, 20, you know what I'm saying? I didn't know him like that. But I'm saying I found him on SoundCloud, I'll be honest. But he had the
Hmm.
huge, he wasn't as big yet, but he had that huge like Young Thug cosign. I
Hmm.
don't think I feel like with Triple X, him being on SoundCloud, even three what's the other dude, Trippy Red, them
Ski
guys,
mask. Oh.
Ski Mask. I remember them just being on SoundCloud. Boom. You know what I'm saying? Just being on SoundCloud, not another artist giving them like some type of or another platform. Like for Juice WRLD to
Mhm.
me is YouTube being with Cole Bennett. Playboy Cardi kind of was around a little bit before the SoundCloud era. That was like, and then Lil Uzi, like I said, he had the cosign, but I feel like has to be on here because his whole
Yeah.
growth is SoundCloud. Trippy Red, these guys you won't agree with because they SoundCloud rappers, but they was like, Little Pump, Smoke Perp.
You said I won't agree with it?
I don't say I don't think you probably want them on a Mount Rushmore or nothing like that. But I'm saying they are SoundCloud. Lil Yachty, Lil Yachty,
They're like top
Lil
10
Yachty should be on.
fundamentals.
Lil
I
Yachty should be
agree
on here.
because Lil Yachty was literally the face of mumble rap, B.
Little
The
Yachty,
face of it.
wintertime all the time. Ooh, wintertime, but he didn't blow up all the way. But I'm just
Uh,
saying he was, you know, you got Puya was crazy. Um, Lil Fat Nick. You had a lot of those guys that was on SoundCloud around that time making crazy noise, bro.
Yeah,
You
I'm
know what
trying
I'm
to look
saying?
at a list of people because the era versus SoundCloud itself is two different
Hmm.
things. Because I'm looking at this list right here, and while it's a list of SoundCloud era rappers, like this isn't a list of like the top SoundCloud rappers because
Right, right,
we
right.
got Peep in here, Playboy Cardi in here, Juice World, Lil Uzi, 21 Savage. I wouldn't count Denzel Curry necessarily because I feel like
Yeah,
he
I
was at the
knew.
tail end of the blog era, coming into the SoundCloud era. We got boy that's in jail that made the race. I forgot his name.
Take care.
Yeah, Take A, Rico Nasty, PNB Rock, A Boogie with the Hoodie, Smoke Perp, a Lil Pump, like you were saying, Ugly God, Wi-Fi's Funeral, Lil Mozzie, Made in TYL, Lil Skies, who
Hmm.
blew up off of the Cole Bennett music
Nowadays,
videos.
feeling
That was
food
back in
for
the
my
era where
girlfriend.
you get one Cole Bennett video. Oh, it was
It's
blowing
a
you up.
rap.
YNW Melly. That's
Oh,
another one.
Melly. Yep.
Really, that whole Kodak Black is one as well. That whole double XL freshman list, except for G Herbo, because G Herbo came from the blog era. But
Hmm.
that whole little list, and Dave East too, because he was at the tail end of the blog era as well. That whole little double XL, that was basically that era right there. But yeah, I know some people put ski mask in there. I kind of want to go to the comments of the here and see like what some of the people are saying. Some people said Triple X, Lil Peep, Ski Mask, and Uzi. I don't think Ski Mask should be in there because Uzi had a. I mean, because XXX fills that spot of what Ski
Yeah,
Mask
the
was,
him
especially with
coming
their
off the yeah.
affiliations. Someone said remove Juice WRLD, put Trippy Red, please. I agree with Dom and Forrest's point of like Trippy Red was there, he was present, but he was never like the big or major star. Like he was one of those people that was a rising star, but I just feel like he never fully got there. Like you get what
Hmm.
I'm saying?
Hmm.
A
But
lot of people peep
he
say
do got some SoundCloud classes, bro.
no, he do. And I love that. What was that a love letter to you? I love that project.
Hmm.
Uh, someone has to be there. I feel for either Lil Pump slash Pulp Smoke Perp. I feel like one of those two had to take up that spot. One
Probably
of
had to
those
be
spots up
Pump.
there.
Pump had the Gucci Gang
Pump was the
record.
way bigger one, but I know it
Hmm.
was because of Lil Smoke Perp that Lil Pump happened
Yeah, that had it.
basically.
Yeah.
It's like the little baby Gunna thing, basically, kind
Hmm.
of. You know what I'm saying? So, uh, I know some
But
people said Lil Xan.
yeah.
I wouldn't
But
put him.
looking back retrospectively on the SoundCloud era, what you think it did for music or what it did for hip hop? Like, did it age properly, or do you think it aged exactly how we thought it was, which is bad?
I
Because
It's hard to say because it's like I feel like the SoundCloud era literally ushered in the rage sound that we have now. It literally ushered in streaming because we had to go to one site, you couldn't download the music, and you had to listen to it on that one site unless you were to allegedly illegally download the music.
so it
So
did
to me,
more
it was like a
bad than good.
precursor. It depends because we also got a lot of younger kids who are now making music who just picked up a mic, got on these beats. They're not fully mixed, they're not fully produced, making these really short songs that we got now. It probably set the predis the pre it set the precedence for what we have now, which in turn has created rage music, which Trippie Redd has been uh deemed as one of the forefathers of rage music, which I don't really deny. But if you want to look at it like that, kind of a bad thing. Like to me, this showed way more rebellion within hip hop, like that youth and rebellion in hip hop. But also that could have been a detriment to everything as well, because there wasn't no like a in the blog era you had a Drake who would do the party tracks but be the backpack rapper type thing happening as well. To me, there wasn't a lot of balance within this era. That's the problem, is what I'll say. Looking back at it, what do you think?
I agree with you, but I just think that for the worse, we look back at this era, I think it's aged poorly because of the mixing quality of the I can just post a song on SoundCloud and I might get 50,000 plays. Let me just make this song in my closet. You know what I'm saying? Use a little auto tune. I feel like a lot of those artists, we had a lot of clones. They all had colored hair. It was just like this SoundCloud era became
A meme.
no, it became a meme and a derogatory term. Like you already had rapper. Oh yeah, you're a rapper. And people like, okay, you trying to rap. But you be like, oh, this nigga a SoundCloud rapper. Like it became a derogatory, like it became like an insult. You know what I'm saying?
Me.
So
Remember, we
huh?
was trying to make music. Not me and
Yeah,
you, but
yeah.
yeah,
But
we
I
was trying to
remember,
make music during
yeah,
this
I know.
era.
And when I was trying to make music, I was trying to, I was trying to rappity rap. You know what I'm saying? Look, I
Uh-huh.
was from the essence. But anyways, I'm just saying, it's room for all this. But I'm gonna just say, just for like Asian Asian perspective, I don't think it aged really well because look, sad to say it's not their fault, but we lost Juice World, we lost X, right? So we don't know what their careers became. We see what Playboy Cardi's at, but I feel like Playboy Cardi is a little more before the SoundCloud era. Like he didn't, to me, he didn't even fit. Like at first, he didn't really fit that mold to me. You get what I
Mm,
mean? Even the
yeah, I get
people he
what you
was
mean.
around, and he had like a little different sound. Like I wouldn't call him a
He was with
SoundCloud
ASAP
rapper.
Mob.
Yeah. And then when it comes with like with Lil Uzi, we see how they turned on Uzi now. And we look at Lil Pump, look at Smoke Perp, look at all the other guys, bro. They know really nowhere to be found. I wouldn't even say Kodak Black was a SoundCloud rapper. He was in the era, but as a
Yeah.
SoundCloud and like 21 Savage, I feel like they connected more to the streets. They connected more to like when I heard about Kodak Black, it was like 2013 on Tumblr, you know what I'm saying, from this dude from Florida. Like and it was more of like a essence of him like being like a new version of Lil Boosie. You know what I'm saying? And 21 Savage being like a new version of like this Gucci Man type of guy. This guy is like very menacing. He didn't give me that stereotypical SoundCloud feel, even when it comes to quality of music. So
Hmm.
I don't know. Looking back at it from like the perspective of SoundCloud era, I think it aged poorly and it also did usher in, the streaming era and stuff like that. Yes, it did good and some bad. I think everything comes with its cons and its pros, but I don't know.
Yeah, I
I
think this
just,
was more the antics driven. I mean, 6ix9ine is also in this era.
yeah, technically,
This is
yeah,
more
yeah.
this is more of the antics, clout driven.
This the
You know,
cloud
this
era.
is when it was going on IG Live, beefing with each other. This
Hmm.
was way more personality driven than it was really musically or lyrically driven. Like at least with the blog era, you had everybody that was in the pocket and sector. In this, they all kind of fit like that same sector. It's just sonically, sound
Mm.
wise, what you didn't get
Cause,
down with because none
cause
of these
like
guys was really lyrical like that.
right, right. Because the blog era, yes, we got closer to our artists because we can, talk to them on Twitter and stuff like that. But the SoundCloud era, we was way more close to the artists, more personable, actually seeing different things. Because, Wiz kind of ushered in like vlogging, and I know Joe Budden was doing it as well, but it wasn't as like very popular. But I feel like all these guys had like some type of vlog series. Triple X was super like he had a Tumblr blog posting his thoughts. He also posts his fights. He had fights all over the internet. It was like more people felt. I feel like parasocialism became really hectic around these SoundCloud artists, bro. It was super crazy.
That and these artists were super young. At least with
They
Dre,
was mad
Currency, and
young.
all of
Yeah,
them, they was
yeah.
like 10 years older than us, 10 to
Hmm.
15 years older than us.
And,
These kids, they was
and
our
like
age.
yeah, and also Wiz and Currency already they already had like been signed before when they was around their age, and then they was
Uh,
more in their earlier later to earlier 20s when we actually got hip to them, even though they already had experiences in the business, so they was a little more mature. But these guys, like you said, bro, they was young, fresh, some in high school, they're like very immature. So it's like it was a lot of things going around that was like a lot of these kids was, you know, hanging on to. You know what I'm saying? It was crazy.
mhm.
It was a crazy time. I don't
Yeah.
miss it. Everybody was saying it was gonna age poorly, and I believe it did. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and sadly, a lot of old heads stuck with the term mumble rap, and they still use it today. I'm like, dog,
No,
using
you
the
can't
term
use
mumble
mumble
rap
rap
in the
no more. That's
big
disgusting.
2025. Like, what are we doing?
It's
Like that
disgusting.
literally, like people at my job use that term. I'm like, that literally tells me everything I need to know about your perspective on hip hop currently. I'm like, if you still using mumble rap in the year 25, you you're lost. Like you're literally
Super
an old
lost.
head because you shouldn't be using the term mumble rap outside of this era right here. Really, once this era started happening, once it hit the streaming era, you shouldn't be saying mumble rap at all anymore because it's like, all right, you just don't like the southern drawl a lot because that's what most of the artists that were mumbling were doing. Because
Hmm.
Ski Mask wasn't mumbling, X wasn't mumbling. It was mostly the rap from southern rappers who just had a super southern drawl about them. Lil Baby, Gunna, Thug, Yachty, all
Hmm.
people from the south, Migos. Even though
Hmm.
they were super articulate with what they was rapping, they were still calling them mumble rap. I'm like, that don't make no sense. I don't know. Yeah, just because you can understand it and they flowing real well does not make it mumble. Now, Gotti, yes, he sounded like he had something in his mouth every time he was rapping. I'll give you that. But
How many niggas you
yeah.
know? Get that shit straight off the boat. I remember those, bro. Lil Yachty took down two of my songs. I used to do a lot of remixes and stuff on SoundCloud to people's music. And when Lil Yachty got his deal, that's when they started removing my remixes.
Mm.
So it
But like
always
I,
been F Lil Yachty and you and Warner. What was it Warner? I used to get those freaking I used to get those
them
messages, boy.
DMCA copyright strikes.
Yeah, boy. I used to hate that.
But like I said, the only people I felt was missing in these conversations, even though they should be on the Mount Rushmore, Nav. But Nav kind of like did a little something though, especially with that song Myself. I didn't expect it to be that huge, but B,
Yeah, it
when
was
you
a
showed
big.
me
That's a
the
SoundCloud
man,
classic.
yeah, but when you showed me that man, the man B, oh B,
Yeah,
I was
I'm the
jamming.
man.
Look, this is when he was saying the N word. He was the brown boy.
Hey, the brown boy. But nah, man.
If
SoundCloud
you're
era
born,
has.
especially.
I think every era have they the artist signature songs and moments. But
Mhm.
when it comes to like ushering the streaming era,
Yeah, this one ushered it in because it's like, oh, they don't want to download it. Like they want to keep it on that platform. Let's make a platform where they gotta pay and they'll listen to it through this.
like even no, even the platforms already existed. They just made the premium version for you to just have the whole. Once the labels got involved into like Pandora, Apple Music, it was Beats Music before Apple
Hmm.
made Apple Music. You had Spotify. I had Spotify in 2014. Yeah, so
Yeah, man, this era really did more harm than good.
yeah, people about to start back pirating and stuff. I believe too.
I don't think so, be only because it's not as easily accessible for them if they do that. It's not easily labeled if they do that.
Yeah, I think they about to. I don't know about musically, but I'm just saying. I think pirating for to do a revamp.
Mm. Hey,
I'm
get
just
straight
saying.
off the boat, B.
I'm not speaking from personal experience, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, allegedly, allegedly. We'll know anything
I
about
have
that.
been allegedly downloading YouTube videos.
Allegedly, because you have YouTube
Allegedly,
Premium, right,
allegedly.
B?
Yeah,
Right,
yeah,
B?
I got you.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, just trying to find out how I could drag those into my desktop.
yeah.
Not trying to keep them on the YouTube platform, but
Oh yeah,
allegedly.
yeah. Sometimes you're just archiving, B, just in case
Yeah, that's
YouTube
it.
shuts down or something. Yeah, yeah, that's
Facts.
it. But yeah,
That's all it
y'all
is.
let us know what
Research
y'all think about.
purposes.
Oh, of course, always, always. Hey, fair use, fair use, fair use.
Fair use, fair use.
Y'all let us know what y'all think about the SoundCloud era down in the comment section down below. Did it did more harm than it did good? Let us know in the comment section down below.
Man, shout out to Beyond Beats and Culture.